Hi, welcome to day 5 of the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge. I am your host and guide for this journey, Chrissy Key Rollins, and I just wanted to commend you for making it all the way to day 5. That's amazing. Just like we learned earlier this week, so often we can fall short on follow through because we're not bringing ourselves enough loving attention, and our inner self will get us distracted and stop us from following through on what we desire. But you've been able to turn that around, and by taking that time to love your heart on a regular basis, it's driving you forward in a powerful, powerful way, and it's going to serve you in this challenge and beyond. And today I am going to kind of build on the next step. Tomorrow, which is going to be our wrap-up call at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll be posting the time, call-in information to the group, and sending it out in the email. So keep an eye out for that so you have the dial-in information. And we are going to just wrap it all up and weave everything together and just take it to the whole another level tomorrow on the call. There will also be time for some question and answer, so make sure that you can make it live if possible. And if not, then there will be a replay, but I would love to have you on the line. So this week we have, we've been laying down layers. We started out with this whole idea that self-love leads to follow-through. Follow-through builds self-trust. Self-trust leads to clarity. Clarity leads to confidence, and confidence is a determining factor in if you're taking action or not. So now that we have put all those steps into place, you have become your own best business partner. You have followed through on unfinished business and really created space for what it is that you want to come into your life. You've identified who it is that you really want to serve and how to speak to them directly. And you've identified and cleared up your limiting beliefs that have been holding you back from receiving. And now you have the clarity and the confidence to engage and offer your services in a way that feels great to both of you. And the number one fear of conscious entrepreneurs is that we don't want to come across salesy. This is also the number one place that we lack confidence in making that offer in a way that it doesn't sound salesy. And when it comes to asking people to invest money, and when it comes to us receiving, we just don't want to make it seem like it's just all about us getting money and that's all there is to it. We have an authentic passion for what we do. We have an authentic desire to impact the lives of others. We have an authentic, we want to bring that same authentic approach to whenever we make our offer. Now, my business coach taught me to have enrolling conversations versus sales conversations. So I don't set up sales talks. I set up an invitation to engage and to have a conversation that goes a little bit deeper. And just like you wouldn't hit somebody up for a marriage proposal on the first date or even before the first date, and if you did do that, the chances of them actually being open to future proposals of any kind really diminish. So you don't want to do that in life, and you don't want to do that in your business. We got to take that same principle over to business. You can't ask somebody to engage or to buy your services before that you even know if they're a good fit. That's one of the reasons that I had said in an earlier video in this series, when people ask you, how do you do that? How do you help people get to that result? Don't answer that question. When people say, how much do you charge for your services? Don't answer that question. What is the point of talking about how you do your work or what you charge for your work if you're talking to somebody who's not a good fit? And the only way to know that is to invite them to a deeper conversation. Some people call these discovery calls. I like to call mine a total clarity breakthrough session. Something that really speaks, again, to the benefit that someone's going to get from the conversation, and something that really has value to it. So if you say, well, let's engage so I can give you a sales pitch, there's no value there. But if you say, let's have a conversation so I can get to know a little bit more about you, what it is that you really want to have experience in your life, and what are the challenges that are holding you back? Now we've got a totally different direction. One, you have a different way for your mind to focus. You're not looking to book sales. You're looking to book conversations. You're not looking to get yeses. You're looking to see if people are a good fit for your services or not. This is kind of like a reverse interview process. So much like you found benefit in asking your people what it is that they desire most and where it is that they're challenged, you can take the same principle over to your sales conversation. And instead of, again, leading with what you do, how you do it, and how much it costs, you can instead lead with finding out more about them. And so what I like to do is invite people to a conversation. I like to set aside about 45 minutes to an hour for these conversations to happen. And then I take them on a guided journey to where we can discover a little bit more and I can learn more about where it is that they really want to be in life. What is that future vision? If we could, snap our fingers, wave that proverbial magic wand, just blink our eyes, whatever, and life's suddenly as good as you could imagine it to be at a future point in your life, then what would that look like for you? What would that experience be like for you? And then after having that conversation, being able to reflect that back to them, then I like to ask them, okay, well, tell me a little bit about what your life is like now. Now, often when you start the tell me about your future vision, they will incorporate a lot of what the now is. So you can lovingly just kind of guide them back and say, I love hearing what you've been going through, but let's save that for the next portion of this call so that we can just get really clear. What is that vision? What is that vision for the future? So what is that vision for the future? Tell me what your life looks like for you now. What have you been going through? What's the day-to-day experience like for you now? And then last, I want to hear about what challenges you've been facing. What is it that you feel is really holding you back from what it is that you desire, that vision that you just told me about? And at that point, when someone has told you where they want to be, what's going on in their life right now, and what challenges they feel are most holding them back, it is going to be crystal clear to you if you can actually help them overcome that challenge and get them to that desired result. If it's not a good fit, this is a great thing because both you and your client or potential client are going to be better off not working together. There is nothing worse than working with a client who just isn't a good fit. They don't show up. They don't follow through. They aren't happy with the services that you deliver, and they're less likely to refer. So why waste your time or somebody else's when it just comes down to just making a sell, just so you can have some money, just so you can have a client? That's not the way that we work. It's totally out of alignment. And if you build your business in this way, you're going to find it's not sustainable. You're not going to get referrals. And most of all, it's not going to be fulfilling. Even if you are helping people get to results, you are only going to be so excited about showing up. Now, if you can fill your clear client base and your calendar with those clients that are an ideal match, those that are ready for what you have to offer, those that will do whatever it takes to see through to the end to get what they want, now you can show up, do your best work, and bring that to the table every day. You will be more fulfilled, you'll see your clients get more results, and everything is just going to feel better. The really super cool thing about this approach too is that it all but eliminates the sales conversation altogether. Once somebody has told you what it is that they really desire, and they can feel it in their body, and they can be really connected to that vision, and they can get into it, I've got to have that state of mind, and then you pull them back to what their life is like now, and they can feel that distance between where they want to be and where they're at now. That has huge power. You've established that there is a distance between where they are and where it is that they want to go. Now, as you identify and learn about what their challenges are, you can then position yourself as the vehicle, the expert guide, the ultimate person to take them on a journey that you have traveled before. You've lived it in your life. You've done it with other clients. You've done it with other people in your life as you were practicing your services. You can deliver these results. But you can only deliver these results when you've got somebody who wants to go on that journey. And when they want to go on that journey, again, once they've identified where they want to be, where they're at now, what their challenges are, and you've been able to say, you know what? What's really great is that number one challenge that you just offered, this is my conversation with people, that number one challenge of not having enough confidence, that happens to be at the very core of all of my work. Now people are like, well, what do you do? How do you work with people? And what happens is that the sales conversation becomes obsolete. You're able to provide service through that conversation, regardless if they say yes or not, regardless if you even get to what your offerings are. You've been able to provide a service to help that person get to clarity and be able to self-identify what it is that is holding them back. This is a gold mine, and this is something that none of us, no matter how expert we are, can really tell somebody. And even if we did tell somebody what we saw that was holding them back, it would only be a fraction of power, or a fraction as powerful as if the person self-identifies it. When you hold that space for someone, when you hold the space for them to connect within, to look within to what they truly want, how they truly feel about life right now, and what they truly feel is the one that they self-identify with as what is holding them back, there's so much power there. You have done such service just by providing that space for them to get that clarity. Now, if you can match what that next best step is for them to get over that challenge and move towards what they want, that adds a double bonus. It's like icing on top of the cake, right? So at the end of the conversation, you're going to have a cake. Everybody loves cake. The fact that you can help to give a couple of tools or kind of point in a direction, this isn't about giving away all of your goods. It's just really affirming. You heard that challenge. You've seen that challenge. You agree that if they overcame that challenge, they would be where they want. And, here's a couple things that we can do right now on the spot to kind of shift that perspective, start to plant the seeds on what it would be like to work with you. Now, again, you don't go into giving away all the goods. You just affirm that, yes, that is a challenge that is holding them back. Yes, that if they did overcome that challenge, they would be in the direction that they want. And yes, as a matter of fact, this is something that I help with. Or you know what? I am not an expert in this area, but I know someone who is. Let me point you in that direction. Or here's a great resource. Or here's another direction to go. Or even the simple fact of just saying, now you know what to look for after we end this conversation. There's huge value in that. And we are value providers. That's what conscious entrepreneurs are. We bring value. We over-deliver on value. Why? Because it's not just about us, and it's not just about the other person. This is about impacting lives and impacting the world. So our mission is big. Our vision is big, and how we deliver value is big. So it isn't just determined by somebody hiring us. And again, if we do this conversation in a really authentic, heart-centered way where we're genuinely just sitting down to listen and to be of service and to be a guide, then the sales conversation happens naturally. It happens authentically. It happens organically. And more often than not, I have the person that I'm talking to ask me, well, what is it like to work with you? How do you work with people? How do you help to get them to this point? Well, glad you asked. I'm happy to tell you. And then I have a clear-cut guide right there that I have in my hand with every single call that I can say, these are my options. This is my package. This is the logistics of my package. This is what we do, and keep everything very benefit-oriented, end result-oriented with just the logistics of what those components look like. So that's the basics. That's the basics on the sales conversation without selling. And this just changed everything for me. Instead of looking to fill my calendar with booked appointments, I focused on filling my calendar with these conversations, inviting people to engage in these conversations. This is also a really great place for you to practice with your friends or family members that would be a good fit for your services, but maybe they haven't been open in the past, but they are open to supporting you. Then you can just ask them, say, hey, I learned this new technique for engaging people, and I would love to test it out on you. Can I be your guide for a little journey, and you just play along with me? And get a good feel for this. The more that you find your flow, the more that you practice this, the easier it's going to be, the more natural that it is. And to be quite honest, like every single person that I get on the phone with that is a good fit, they always want to work with me. They want to do something more. They can't always invest in what the offers are that I have, but that is part of the reason why I created this Facebook group. I wanted to have a place that you can go to stay plugged in, stay connected to me, keep getting some really great tips and info and mindsets and perspectives just dripped on you so that you can continue your journey on your own. And then whenever you're ready, you can make that next step. So also having another thing that you can offer them that is not a paid for thing to just kind of as a thank you for engaging that conversation is a really great thing, and to give them that next step that they can take on their own if they're not in a position to get started with you. That's always great to do as well. And then again, you can go into it value-packed, feeling like you've provided service, knowing that you brought value to the table, and have that clarity and peace of mind when you go into the conversation that that's your goal, that's your intention. So you ooze with the smell of service and authentic desire, and not the smell of, I need to sell. Because that is a repulsive smell. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants to be around it. And it's really what stops a lot of us authentic service providers in our mission. It stops us because we don't want to come across that way. And this is the best way to ensure that you're not salesy, that you are heart-centered, that you are service-minded, and that you are keeping it not about you, but about the other person that you are engaging with and could potentially help. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that when it's not a good fit, it is so clear. It is so clear. And what is really great about this is that you can walk away from every single conversation knowing with certainty that if you did not make a sell, if they did not make a move, it is not because you didn't say the right thing or you didn't do the right thing. In fact, you can go into each conversation with clarity and with confidence that through them self-identifying what their challenges are, you will naturally know how your services and if your services can support their journey. So you can go with that confidence and clarity to know if it's a good fit, it's going to be crystal clear and right in front of you. And remember, when you listen to what it is that they want, where it is that they are, and what their challenges are, you will naturally know if you can help them or not. And this really allows your offer to be natural, to be authentic, and to be a service itself. And you set them up, once again, to self-select into your services. So majority of my clients end up saying, yes, I want to work with you. What does it look like? Before they even know what working with me looks like or how much it costs. And when they are sold, within themselves, it's a power that we can't put on them. And then they naturally want to know, and then they're naturally more open because, people aren't hiring you because they can't afford you. Even if they say, I can't afford it, it's not about money. It's never about money. Because if you really look at it and you look at your own life, you look at the life of people around you, we always afford what we decide we can afford. And when there's enough value, when we are convinced that that car is going to be the best thing to get us from point A to point B, we're going to buy it. Even if it means we have to make payments, even if it means that we have to take out a loan, whatever it is. And I'm not saying just get people to take out a loan to work with you. I'm just saying that we do whatever it takes to get the things that we know are going to change our life. And if you are just talking about what you do, how you do it, and the results that you've gotten with other people, they might not be able to make the connection that they could if they self-identify where they want to be, where they are now, and what it is that is really holding them back. Lead with that conversation, allow them to self-select into your services, and let's make this whole sales conversation, let's just revolutionize it. Let's bring a new paradigm to business. I mean, that's what I'm here to do. Pioneer a new paradigm for business where we can get out of efforting and having to work hard to get results, and instead we can relax and we can allow and we can attract and we can allow our success to unfold in front of us instead of having to make it work all the time. Because if you haven't noticed, even if that does get results, it will lead to burnout, and that is not what we came here to do. We came here to thrive, we came here to live full out, and we came here to help other people do it. So let's get to work doing it. Be thinking about who you can engage to practice this approach with. Be thinking about what would you call that? What would you call that conversation to engage with you? Remember about it being benefits oriented. So mine's a total clarity breakthrough session. I want you to have total clarity on what it is that is holding you back in your life, because that's going to help me to know if I'm a good fit or not. So I like that total clarity breakthrough session, discovery session. Make it oriented to what it is that you have to offer, so that you can go ahead and set them up to have that be the solution to what it is that they say that they really, really want. And be thinking about that, who you can offer this to. And I would just love to know how this conversation feels to you. And as a participant in this challenge, you have qualified for a complimentary Total Clarity Breakthrough session from me. So if you have not done so, reach out to me and let's get that set up. And then you'll have a first-hand experience of what it's like to be on the receiving end and how I structure my conversations, so you can pick up some really great pointers on different tips and techniques that you can incorporate into yours. So be sure to hop over to the Facebook group and put a post about what you're taking away from this conversation, from today's challenge, and what are you going to commit to taking on and implementing into your own practice. So want to hear those breakthroughs, want to hear those takeaways, and make sure you use the hashtag #IGotThis. So hashtag I got this, so that I can easily get you credit towards some really great prizes. I'll be announcing the winners of those prizes tomorrow on the call, so make sure that you're on that call. And I love you. Thanks for coming on this journey, and I can't wait to be on the call live with you tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And have an amazing day. Bye, guys.